Hey guys, this is Karthik from the hiddendeveloper.com YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you some extra functions of the avPlay class, the web APIs library for the Samsung Smart TV. So in my previous video I have shown you some basic functionalities of the avPlay class, like loading a video file, playing it and stopping it. So I'm going to use the same project structure for my current video. Okay, I'm going to use the same project structure. Now let's get started. So fire up your Samsung Smart TV SDK. So this is the same project file that I've used for my previous video, and I have launched a debugging session previously in order to save ourselves some time. Okay, so if you take a look, so this is the output screen, and this is the debugging window screen. Okay, so let's I have made a little bit of change in the video, in the case of the video that I have used in my previous video. Okay, so here I have changed the video URL to something from my local server. So here in main.js file, if you take a look at the URL, so this was different from the one that I have provided in my previous video. So this video is something, so this URL is actually something, it points to a video in my local server. You can see it right here. It's running on a node HTTP server in my local system, so that I'll get access to the video quickly. So in order to show you the demo, so you open the output screen and press the play button, you can see that the video starts playing immediately without much delay, because I have a horrible internet connection. Okay, so I go ahead and stop the video, and let's start with our process. Okay, so the first functionality that I'm going to demonstrate here is the pause functionality. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the key handler for the pause button. So case tv key dot key underscore pause. So this is the key code for the pause button. Okay, and for this pause functionality I'm going to call a function called pause video. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this function here. So main dot pause video is a function that is going to pause the video for us. So I'm just going to call main dot player, which is the player instance that we have initialized in our main class. If you take a look at my previous video, you'll get a clear idea of how these things are happening. So I'm not going to explain all those things. You can take a look at my previous video to get an explanation for that. I'm just continuing with pausing my video. Okay, so main.player is going to give you the reference to the current initialized player object. Okay, so main.player.pause method is going to pause my video. Okay, so now I'm just going to add one more variable here that shows the state of my player. So main dot player state equal to, no, I'm just going to assign an empty string for the variable named player state. Okay, so once I pause my video, I'm just going to set the player state to be paused. Okay, because our code needs to know that the video is currently paused. Okay, so in order to resume the video, I need to depend on the key handler function of the play key. Okay, so let's go to the play key function, play video. Okay, so this is something that is going to play the video. So here I'm going to add an extra condition to check that if my player is paused. Okay, so main dot player state equal to, so if it is paused, then I'm going to resume the player. Okay, So if not, I'm just going to initialize the player. Okay, so this is the pause and the resume functionality here. Let's go ahead and check this one. So let's go to the debugging session, refresh my app, go to my player. Okay, so if I start playing this video, you can see that the video starts playing. Now if I click the pause button, you can see the video gets paused. Now if I click play again, my video is currently continues playing. Okay, let's go ahead and stop this video and continue with our coding process. Okay, so here once you give resume, you need to set the state of the player to be playing or resume. Okay, so this was our pause and resume functionality. So the next functionality that we are going to see is the bitrate functionality. Okay, so before going on with this bitrate, let's create a simple panel at the landing page in order to show a list of properties for our player. Okay, so let's go to the landing page. It is index.html, and I'm just going to create a simple div container. Okay, so the ID will be player properties. Okay, this is just a name that I'm going to give here. Okay, so inside this thing I'm just going to add some properties that I'm going to demonstrate in this video here. So the first will be our bit rates. Okay, so here it will be bitrate. Okay, bitrate, and it's going to give a class called p_bitrate. Okay, I'm just giving a simple sample value of 0, and my second parameter is current bitrate. Okay, span id equal to p current bitrate. Okay, so for that also I'm going to give a 0 value, and the next one too is my volume. Okay, span id equal to p_volume. Okay, so for that also I'm giving a default value of 0, and the next one will be my duration of my video. Okay, that is p_duration, so I'm giving a default value of 0, and my play speed, which I'm going to assign a default value of 0. Okay, sorry, for this play speed, let's say when the player gets started, let's assign a play speed of 1, which is the normal speed, and the resolution. Okay, so p_resolution also I'm just giving a blank value of 0. Okay, instead of 1, let's give a more meaningful name called normal. Okay, so this is a simple panel that we are going to display alongside our video to show some player properties. Okay, let's go ahead and give this div a style so that its contents are visible. So let's open our style sheets folder, and the player properties panel, I'm just going to give it a fixed position on the screen, and my right to be some 5 pixel, my bottom to be the 5 pixel, width to be, let's say, 250 pixel, and height, let's keep the height as auto. Okay, and I need a border of white color, and the text inside it should also be of white color. Okay, and one more thing is that I have added, if you take a look at the index file, you can see I can added some span classes here. So for that span, I'm just going to give a bold font. Okay, so this is my styling. This is just a simple styling. So in order to view the changes, let's refresh our app, and if you take a look at the emulator, you can see that okay, so these are all the things that I've added here. And in order to give it a little bit more better appearance, I'm just going to add a br tag at the end of every line that I'm going to use. Okay, so if you take a look at the app again, now it seems perfect. Okay, so this is the information that we are going to display that is related to our video. So let's take a look at the bitrate first. So for displaying the bitrate, the avPlay class has a method called get available bitrates. So this method is going to retrieve you the list of bitrates that is available with your smart TV. In my case, it's obviously the emulator. So it is obviously going to retrieve you the list of bitrates that are available from your rendering engine in order to display the current video. So let's go ahead and add that thing. Okay, so these things should be popularized once our video starts playing. So the function to look out for is our play video file. So this is our play video, and here I'm just going to call init player or init video properties. Okay, so okay, this is the init video properties, and I'm going to define that function init video properties. So that will be a function. Okay, so once this player is initialized, this function is going to get called. So the first thing that we are going to set is the get available bitrates. So the ID here is p_bitrate. So here what I'm going to do is document.get element by ID of the bitrate 1 dot inner HTML, which is a property that of the DOM that is used to send some text as the inner text of a DOM element. So here I'm going to set the get available bitrates. Okay, so this is the method that will get you a list of the bitrates that is available with your emulator or TV. And avPlay class has one more method called current bitrate. Okay, so I'm going to populate the second element with a method called get current bitrate. Okay, so this is something, this method is obviously going to get you the current bitrate that the emulator or the TV uses to decode your it's not decoding, it's actually the current bitrate that is utilized by the emulator or the rendering emulator or the TV to render your current video. Okay, let's go ahead and check that whether these two are reflected. Okay, so let's go to the output, and once we start playing the app, you can see that okay, so in some cases, maybe if in my case of emulator, the get available bitrates method failed, but in the case of a TV you'll get it. I'm using it in an emulator, so you know this is this value I got it as -1, while as in the case of current bitrate you got the value saying so this is the bitrate in which your video is currently playing. Okay, let's stop the video and go with our coding. Okay, so get available bitrates and get current bitrate is one that we covered right now, and the third one that we are going to focus is the volume. So this volume method is the one that is going to set the volume for the currently playing video or get the volume in which the video is currently being played. So avPlay class has a method called getVolume, and in order to set the volume it has a method called setVolume. So let's go ahead and set the volume class. So in this case I'm going to depend on the volume button, volume plus and minus button. So these are the two buttons that I'm going to use for changing the volume, that is increasing and decreasing. So in our case, let's in a normal case, where obviously when you think that the volume range has a maximum value of 100 and a minimum value of 0 in a normal case, but there are other cases too. But normally in a when you consider a video file, a normal volume range will be taken from 0 to 100. So let's go ahead and set the volume of our app. So main dot volume to be 100. Initially let us assume that our video is playing on a maximum volume. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the key handler for the volume button. So the key for the volume key handle button is key underscore wall underscore up. So that's the key code that is used for the increase the volume button. Okay, so here I'm just going to use a method called increase volume. Okay, so let's add one more key handler for the volume down button. Okay, so in this case I'm just going to call a method called decrease volume. Okay, so let's go ahead and define these two methods, main dot increase volume and main dot decrease volume. Okay, so I have defined these two methods. Now in the increase volume, let's set the volume. Okay, so in the increase volume, the logic is that your volume should not go beyond 100%. Okay, so if main dot volume, which is the variable that we have defined here, is less than 100, then I'm just going to increase the volume of my player to 5 points. So main dot player dot set volume to, before that I'm just going to increase my volume, say 5 points. So I'll just set my volume with the current variable. Okay, so if you take a look at the code here, you can see that I'm increasing the volume level to 5%, and I'm sorry, it's not 5%, by 5 units, and then I'm setting that volume to the player. Okay, so if the volume reaches 100, then you cannot increase this volume. So we should also update the current volume in the volumes panel. So in order to do that, I'm just going to get element by id of volume dot inner html equal to, I'm going to use the another method of the volume called get volume. So get volume is the method that is used to retrieve the current volume. Okay, so this will set the volume panel to the current volume in our video. And also in the decrease case, we are going to use the same logic here, but in our case we cannot decrease our volume than 0, less than 0. So 0 is our limit. So in this case I'm going to, if it is greater than 0, I'm just going to reduce our volume by 5 units, and I'm going to set the volume there. Okay, now these two functions are called. Let's go ahead and check that thing. Okay, let's go ahead and play our video. Okay, so if you see, I'm going to increase my volume. Okay, So there is a little change here. Initially let's set the volume to be 100 because we are setting the initial volume to be 100. Okay, and in the decrease I missed this equal to point. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this app once again. See that once I decrease this volume, you can see the value of volume to be reduced to 95. So again, if I go and decrease the volume, you can see that volume is reduced a further bit, and I can feel the difference in the volume right here. It may not be that audible to you people, but I can feel the difference here. Okay, similarly you can also increase the volume. Okay, so you can see the change here. Let's stop this video and go to our next topic in our series, that is duration. Okay, for duration is something that we use to get the duration of our current video. Okay, so in order to get the duration, the avPlay class has a method called getDuration. Okay, so this duration is something that should show when the player gets loaded. So get element by id p underscore duration. Let's make sure that I'm using the same id here, p underscore duration. Okay, that's same here, and that I'm going to set the inner HTML's value to be get duration. Okay, so get duration is going to get the player the video duration for me, and the next function that I'm going to show you is setting the play speed. Okay, so here there is no button to change the play speed. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use the key values 1 and 3, that is 1 for a normal play and 3 for increased play speed. Okay, so I'm just going to define one more variable called player speed, that is normal in my starting case. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the key handlers for the key value 1 and 3. Key dot key underscore 1. Okay, and main dot, for this function I'm just going to call main dot normal speed. Okay, so let's go ahead and define that function, main dot normal speed. So this is a function that is going to set the speed of the player to be normal. So here main dot player dot set speed to be 1. The value 1 is considered to be a normal speed for the player, and in order to update this in the speed panel, I'm just setting the inner HTML to be normal. Okay, so I'm using the key value 3 for increased speed. Okay, so just going to increase speed. This is supposed to be a function that increases the speed of the current video, and in the speed panel I am just going to update the speed of the video to be fast. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the above functionalities. I'm going to refresh my app once again and go to the player and play my video. Well, you can see that this is a normal mode of play. Once I click the button 3, you can see that the speed of the video got faster. I'll show you the difference. The one is the normal mode. Okay, so this is the normal mode, and once I click 3, the play speed got increased significantly, which is double the speed of the current. So 1 is the normal mode. Okay, and the duration, there is a little bit error in here. Let's check that out. So here duration is obviously going to give, maybe mine is an emulator thing. The duration is slowed down a bit, but normally it shows you the duration of the video also. Sometimes I may get, sometimes I not get, but this time I'm not getting the duration, and even there are cases where I have got the bitrate and the current bitrate too. Okay, so in some cases, while my emulator is not able to get these values because of the communication delay between my local application server and the emulator, but in normal cases you'll get this value. Okay, but in the TV you're going to get it definitely, but in an emulator sometimes it may show errors because it's an emulated environment, and there are a lot of factors that depends on the passing of values from the host to the host operating system to the emulator. So there is little bit blockage in these areas. So we have checked the play speed also. The next function that we are going to learn is the resolution of the current video. Okay, so in order to check the resolution of the current video, the avPlay method has a the avPlay class has a method called get video resolution. Okay, so this video resolution also is something that has to be shown when the document get loaded. So get element by id, and I'm going to copy the resolution here, this paste thing, and I'm going to set the inner HTML to be main.player.getVideoResolution. Okay, so this is going to get the resolution of the video and set it in the panel here. And the last functionality in this video tutorial that we are going to take a look at is the seeking of the video. So in order to demonstrate this functionality, so this is the main reason I shifted the video from a remote source to something from a local source, so that I do not have to depend on the network lag here. So let's go ahead and implement the seek functionality. For implementing the seek functionality, I'm going to use the keyword called key_ff, which is the fast forward button, and the key_rw, which is the rewind button. So let's go ahead and add those two key handlers. Okay, so tv key dot key key_ff, which is the fast forward button, and here you can call a method called fast forward. Okay, so and one more thing, one more key event handler that I'm going to add is key_ the rewind or the reverse forward, as I call it. I'm going to assign another method called fast backward. Okay, so let's go ahead and define these two functions. So main dot fast forward is a function that is going to set the main dot player dot jump forward is the function that is going to seek our video to a specific time frame. For here I'm just going to use 10 seconds. That is, this will seek my video from the current time frame to 10 seconds all of a sudden. Okay, and in the reverse case I'm going to define the function called fast backward, and this function is going to seek my current video file to 10 seconds. Okay, so this is the functionality jump forward and jump backward. These are the two functionalities handled here. So let's go ahead and check this out. So refresh the app and start playing the app. Well, you can see that the video starts playing in a normal mode, and once I click the fast forward button, my video got skipped to 10 seconds forward. When I click it once again, it started again. Once I click it again, so you can see that my video is seeked forward 10 seconds. So once I click the reverse button, again it is seeking the video backwards to the 10 seconds. So this jump forward and jump backward functionality is going to seek your video based on the time frame that you have given as input to this function. And there is one more function called hide and show your player. Okay, that function will be best demonstrated after I set the display area of the current player, and I'm going to use the key number 5 for maximizing my player. So let's go ahead and add the key handler for the number 5. Okay, so here I'm just going to call a function called main dot maximize player. Okay, so I'm going to define that function main dot maximize player. So inside this function I'll increase the size of the player. Okay, so main dot player dot avPlay class has a method called set display rect. Okay, set display rect is a function which accepts an object which is supposed to be a rectangle that has a left parameter. In my case it's 0, top it's 0, and the width should be the width of my window. So in my case it's window dot inner width. Okay, and in the case of height, which is my window height, so my case it's, so once I click my key 5, this is going to maximize this player. And there are two more functionalities that I'm going to assign for the keys number 4 and 6. 4 to hide, and 6 to show. Okay, in 4 I called a method called hide. This will hide the player. Hide in the sense it will hide the container of the player. Here we are not having any container here. We have so in this case it was obviously going to hide the container of the player. here we have used a simple container. So in that case the hide and show functionality is not clearly visible. I'll show you the difference after maximizing the player. Okay, so if I press 5, this will maximize the player. Once my player maximizes, and I'll be able to show you the hide and show functionality. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. I'll refresh my app and I go to my player, and once I start play, you can see that the player starts playing. Now if I click 5, you can see that my player got maximized to the full screen. Okay, and if I click 4, this will hide the player. That means the player goes backwards. So that will bring my panel to the front side. That means the player is hidden. And if I click 6, that is going to show the player, and when the player shows, obviously my panel gets hidden. So 4 for hiding and 6 for showing. Okay, so let's stop the video, and so let's take a look at the recap of the functionalities that we have discussed today. First, we initialized a panel here in the home page in order to show the various properties like bitrate, the current bitrate the player is using, the volume, the duration of the current video, the speed, setting the speed, getting the resolution of the current video, showing the player, hiding the player, changing the dimensions of the player. So the avPlay class has much more functionalities here also, like setting of subtitles, setting of audio streams, etc., etc., which I think of publishing in one of my future video tutorials. Okay, so and one more thing that I had to adjust is that here in my case, when we initialize the player properties, these things got initialized before the video file even starts playing. So let's give it a timeout of say 2 seconds, so that all these properties got recognized. Okay, so let's go ahead and initialize our player. Okay, so once I start playing, now you can see that all the values are populated correctly. So previously it showed -1 because my API was not my API got called before the video got recognized. It was a bit heavy video, even though I'm running it locally. So if in the current case I gave a delay and my API was able to recognize the details of the video, and now if you see, you can see all the details of the video, like the resolution, play speed, duration, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so these are the functionalities that we saw today. And one more important functionality that we saw is pausing the video, and then resuming the video, and then seeking forward, seeking backward. So these are kind of the core functionalities a player needs. So this avPlay class has a little bit more functionalities, like setting up of subtitles, setting audio streams, selecting the quality of the video, changing the resolution of the video, checking the input channel, etc., etc., which will be discussed on one of my future video tutorials. My next video is scheduled to be released on 18th, that is coming Monday, in which I'll be demonstrating some more inner functionalities of the IME editor. In one of my previous videos, I had shown you people how to initialize an IME and how to call its text selector, etc., etc. In this video, in my next video, I'll be showing you some more methods, like the ones that we saw in avPlay class in current video. And my next video will be based on the IME editor, some more little bit more advanced than the one that was published previously. So that's all for now. Thank you for the time. Have a great day. Bye.